Padakalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagarjatam Sahagana Raghunathanidam Dam Sajivam Satvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishadaginamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Kanta Radha Kanta Namoste Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavani Shri Rishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanchakalpatarubhasya Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamine Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshtarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare 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 Krishna. So this was the overview of chapter 1. That is, you all have to memorize Sloka 1.1. Okay. Dharma kshetre kurukshetre samavetayu utsavaha mamaga pandavaschaiva kimak kurvada sanjaya. So Dhritarashtra saying. So we'll have a quick recap. Why did Dhritarashtra ask that question? Like, what did my sons and Pandu's sons, what did they do? What are the two reasons in the purport Prabhupada mentions? Why did Dhritarashtra ask this question? Yeah, you can raise a digital hand. Why did Dhritarashtra ask this question? Prakash Parekh Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji. There are two reasons. Number one, the Kurukshetra is a pilgrimage place, and it will have an impact on the outcome of the war, because Pandavas are more religious than the Kauravas. And number two, actually, Kauravas. I had the reason in mind. I don't know what happened.
Okay, no problem. So the first one is right. You are right. And let's see the second one. Sri Devi Mataji.
Yeah, it's Mataji. Hare Krishna. He didn't want a compromise to happen.
Very good. Yeah, he didn't want a compromise between the cousins. Okay, so the one reason is because Dharmakshetra is a place where Dharma wins, and then Dhritarashtra know that Pandavas were on the side of Dharma. So he was like, since the holy place might have an influence on the outcome of battle. So he thought Pandavas are going to win. So he was fearful of that. Second thing, he don't want a compromise between the cousins. He wanted the battle to happen. Why did Krishna want the battle to happen? Niraja Mataji. Why did Krishna want this Kurukshetra war to happen? He could have stopped it, no?
Hare Krishna Mataji, because he wanted Bhagavad Gita to be known by everyone.
Very good. That's one reason. What is the second reason, Priyadarshini Mataji?
Yes, he wanted to weed out the miscreants.
Very good. So what's the example Prabhupada gives? First,
weeds in the farm.
Yeah, weeds in the paddy field. And if he kills all the Kauravas, they will get moksha. So I want to clear one thing here. Last time I discussed that was Sayuja Mukti, right? It's not Sayuja. When I read, you can see Bhishma Stuti in the first canto, 9th chapter, 39th sloka. If you see, it said that Bhishma Dev was seeing the Parthasarathi form of Krishna. You can see this is how they stood, no? Arjuna was behind and Krishna was in front, and Bhishma was just opposite. So Bhishma Dev on 18 days saw the Parthasarathi form of Krishna, and because of that, and all of them in the Kauravas side, Krishna was so merciful to them that he gave them Sarupya Mukti. And I was shocked to hear that, because it's normally devotees who get Sarupya Mukti. And Prabhupada mentions there, that's because they saw the Parthasarathi form of Krishna at the time of their death. So they saw that form, they meditated on that form, and and Krishna was more merciful. The second reason is, who are the Kauravas? They are also Krishna's associates, right? When Krishna wanted to end his pastime and go, he destroyed the whole Yadu dynasty, because all of them were his associates. When the king goes somewhere, all the prime ministers, everyone follows. Similarly, when Krishna goes somewhere, everyone follows. It's not he goes alone. So what happened? The Kauravas are also Krishna's associates. So definitely he want to take them back. So that's Sarupya Mukti. Okay, I just want to clear it. Now, how was Duryodhan being diplomat? He went to Dronacharya and he used a specific term to be diplomat, or like a politician he was behaving. What was it, Shreya Mataji?
It was Tavasishyena Dhimata. He spoke to his Guru Dronacharya, and telling the importance of presence of Bhishma Eva Upastitam, and
Then-
also the one comparing with Bhima Arjuna, the
Yes.
Sena.
Yes, very good. So, Charu Mataji, what is that specific term which he used to provoke Dronacharya?
Aparyaptam.
Yes, that is another term, aparyaptam. He said, Bhishma Dev, that our army is complete with you. And he went to Dronacharya and said, it's incomplete. But I'm asking for that term. Sudha Mataji. What did he specifically use that term to provoke Dronacharya?
Drupada's son.
Huh?
Drupada's son. Or
Very good. Who is Drupada's son?
Drishtadyumna.
Very good. So Drishtadyumna. So Duryodhan knows that to provoke Dronacharya, this was one of the hint. He used the term Drupada Putrena. So Drupada Putra is Drishtadyumna. So Drishtadyumna is actually the enemy of Dronacharya's son of Dronacharya's enemy. And then Drishtadyumna would kill Dronacharya in the future, knowing that Dronacharya, being a Brahmana, what gave the all knowledge or trained Drishtadyumna. So Duryodhan purposely comes and say, see the army which is arranged by Drupada Putrena, that is Drishtadyumna. So purposely he used that term, and he was a politician here. And as you said, he went to Bhishma's side and also Dronacharya's side. What was the two reasons why Duryodhan was so confident that Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya will definitely support him? What are the two reasons given in the purport? Charu Mataji. You can raise your digital hand if you know the answer.
Hare Krishna Mataji. First reason was when Draupadi was seeking help, they were not supporting. And similarly, during the gambling match, when it happened,
Very good.
Bhishma and they did not support. And being the king, Bhishma and Dronacharya are like dependent on them for the financial aids.
Very good. So these were the reasons. Yes, when when Draupadi was insulted, they didn't say a word. And also when the gambling match was happening, yes, and financially they were dependent, definitely. So that's why they were quiet. And it is said that Bhima have taken 3 vows. He have taken a shapata. What did he take? Does anyone know? That Bhima have taken a shapat when all these things were happening. Yes, Priyadarshini Mandaji.
Yes, Mataji. He had taken a vow that he would tear the thighs of Duryodhana and bathe Draupadi's hair with that.
Yeah. So he said that he will break the thighs of Duryodhan, right? That is one thing, breaking the thighs of Duryodhan. And for Dushasan, he told, I'll open the chest, break his chest and drink his blood. And also he told he'll kill all the Kauravas. So that's what Bhima have taken the vow. Okay, so blowing of the conch shell shattered the hearts of Kauravas. Why? Sudha Mataji. Or Deval, who was it? Yeah. Why did it shatter the hearts of Kauravas?
Because they knew that they were on the Adharma side and Krishna was on the other side. So wherever Krishna is, the victory is always on that side.
Yeah, so like a thief is scared when they hear the siren of the police. So definitely the blowing of the conch shell. So it was transcendental also. Now we also saw Arjuna observing in the middle of the battlefield, and Krishna is called as Achyuta here. Senayor Ubayor Madhya Ratham Stapayame Achyuta. Why is Krishna called Achyuta? The 2 reasons. Why is Krishna called as Achyuta? Shreya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Achyuta means the one who doesn't fall. Even Krishna is the Parthasarathi. He's the charioteer of Arjuna. He doesn't fall from the position of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And other one is Krishna is so merciful that he can be even the driver of his devotees.
Yes, so he can he never fails to reciprocate to his devotees, and he never failed to protect his devotees. And just becoming the chariot driver, it doesn't mean Krishna fall from the position of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, now today we'll see the next slokas from 23. So Yotyamanam Aveksha Aham Ye Atra Ye Ete Atra Samagata Dhartarashtrasya Durbuddhe Yuddhe Priya Chikir Shiva. Let me see. Those who have come here to fight, wishing to please the evil-minded son of Dhritarashtra. Why does Arjuna want to see both the armies? Or why? What is the reason mentioned in the 23rd sloka purport, last line? Kishore Kumar Prabhu.
Yes, Mataji. There is the reason, two reasons. One is to assess the strength of the enemy, because accordingly he will prepare himself.
Very good.
And another is from middle he can see both the sides.
Very nice.
And
Okay.
okay.
I'm really happy with this batch. I mean, all are like well versed, and the other batches, some devotees they sleep, but here everyone is so active. You remember everything what we taught in the last week. So nice to make an estimate of the strength which he had to face and to see both the sides. Okay, so why Arjuna is referred to as Gita Kesha? Can we have a break? Yeah, you can say why Arjuna. You can just unmute.
Because he was a conqueror of sleep and ignorance. That's why he's called Buddha.
Sleep and ignorance.
Sleep and ignorance.
He had conquered sleep and ignorance. He did not want to forget Krishna. So he didn't want to sleep at all. Be awake all the while. And
Yeah, Buddha means sleep, and Kesha.
Buddha means sleep or ignorance.
Sleep, yeah. That's why he was conqueror of sleep, Buddha Kesha.
It also means
And also it means ignorance, yeah. And he was always thinking about Krishna all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, always.
Yes, yes.
He didn't want to sleep and waste his time in sleeping. He wanted to remember Krishna always.
And also there's a story behind it that how he conquered his sleep. He was like on the banks of the river. He was sitting on a tree, on a branch of a tree for 6 months. Like each time he fell asleep, he used to fall in the river, and again he used to come back.
Get up, yeah.
Yeah.
Mataji, can you tell that story? What was that?
I just know a bit of it, that he went on the banks of Yamuna on a tree to sit and conquer his sleep. So whenever he fell asleep, he fell down in the water.
Yeah.
So he used to sit.
Okay, so there's one more story which I heard is like where Prabhupada mentions now, conquering sleep and ignorance means even in sleep, a pure devotee thinks of Krishna, right? So once Narad Muni went to meet Krishna and Arjuna was sleeping on his lap. Does anyone know that story?
No,
So what-
Mataji.
No, Mataji.
So what happened? Narad Muni was like shocked. How is Arjuna sleeping on the lap of Krishna? How is Arjuna so great? So Krishna is like, Narad Muni, you just come here. And there was one hair of Arjuna was fallen on the ground. And Krishna said, Narad Muni, you take that hair and keep it near your ears. So when Narad Muni did that, from the hair of Arjuna, he could hear Krishna, Krishna, Krishna. That means even that hair was chanting. I mean, that each cell of Arjuna, because he's a pure devotee, eternal associate of the Lord, he was still chanting. Even in sleep, he was deep asleep, but still he was chanting about the Lord. So like Srila Prabhupada, even though the last days, Prabhupada was so skinny and thin, and he was not at all feeling well, the devotees could see constantly his tongue was vibrating Krishna's holy name. So that's the high level of consciousness of pure devotees. And who is Arjuna after all? Is Arjuna a normal person or he is somebody?
No, he is Vishaka Saki.
He's the devotee of the Lord.
He's Vishaka Saki, very good. He's Vishaka Saki. And when Krishna came as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Vishaka Saki came as?
Ramananda.
Very good. Ramananda Rai. Very nice, Ramananda Rai. So Arjuna is not a normal person, okay? Out of all the Pandavas, Krishna selected Arjuna because he is the eternal associate of Krishna. And it said that Radharani and Vishaka Saki, they were born on the same day. And it's the direct expansion of Radharani. Vishaka Saki is the direct expansion of Radharani, almost like Radharani, very close to her. So that makes, that gives the clue why Arjuna is so special, right? And it is said then when Radhashtami is celebrated in Barsana, in Vishaka Saki's place, Vishakashtami is celebrated. So they almost appeared on the same day, same time, and they are just the first expansion of expansion. So Vishaka Saki is very dear. So that means Arjuna. So when people say Bhagavad Gita is for Arjuna, no, it's not for Arjuna, it's for us, right? Arjuna is put into Yoga Maya so that Bhagavad Gita could be spoken by Krishna for us. Okay, so that's the term of Gita Kesha. Krishna speaks for the first time in which sloka?
25.
You can just unmute, huh?
25, Mataji.
What does he speak? 25 May?
He said that just watch.
Ah.
Behold.
Yes. So some devotees think that Krishna never spoke in the first chapter, but yes, Krishna spoke. Krishna spoke the philosophy from second chapter. Okay, but he spoke first time in 1.25. 1.25. Just behold, the son of Kuru. No, that's what he said.
Behold.
Yeah, so Krishna speaks for the first time in the Sloka 1.25. What good qualities you saw about Krishna in the first chapter? How he is a good guru in the first chapter? Yes. How is Krishna? Yeah.
A good listener. He listened to Arjuna's.
Yes, very good. He was listening. So that's a quality of a good guru. He was listening. Yes, Charu Mataji, you have some other anything points?
No, Mataji, I was also thinking the same. Patiently.
Deval
he was,
Mataji?
Rishikesha, the control of senses.
Yes, so he was control. Yes, the senses. So makes him a perfect guru, right? So Krishna speaks for the first time here. This is the term he speaks. Pashetan samavetanan kuru iti. Just behold the kurus. So Krishna is just saying, see Arjuna, they all have come. The kurus have come. This is what Krishna speaks for the first time in the 25th sloka. And why is Arjuna addressed as Partha? Yes, Shreya Mataji.
He is the son of Pritha, who is the sister of Vasudeva.
Yeah, so Pritha is who? What's the other name of Pritha?
Kunti.
Kunti
Son of
Maharani.
Kunti.
So Partha is only Arjuna?
All the 5 Pandavas.
All the 5?
All the 3 Pandavas.
No.
Pandavas' sons from the
sister of his own.
All the 3. Who 3?
All
Which are the 3?
Yudhishthira, Arjun, Bhima.
Yudhishthira, Arjuna and Bhima. What about Nagula and Sahadev?
They are Madris.
Sons of Madri.
Very good. Very good. So Partha means son of Pritha. Pritha is Kunti Maharani. Now Kunti Maharani, we think the Pandavas, all 5 are from Kunti Maharani. No. Bandu had 2 wives, Kunti Maharani and Madri. So from Kunti Maharani, he had Bhima, Yudhishthira and Arjuna. So since Kunti Maharani is called Pritha, son of Pritha becomes Partha. So all the 3, Bhima, Yudhishthira and Arjuna, all 3 becomes Partha. But in specific to Bhagavad Gita, Partha refers to Arjuna, but then Partha really refers to all these 3. What about Nagula and Sahadeva? They are Madri's son. And what happened to Madri? When Pandu died, there was like Sati system happening. So Madri jumped into the fire and then she committed, she died along with Pandu. And then Kunti Maharani had to stay back to take care of all the 5 sons. Okay, so that's why Arjuna is referred to as Partha, and Partha Sarathi is Krishna. So Krishna is also called Chakrapani. Does anyone know why? What is the meaning of Chakrapani, or Krishna's another name in relation to Bhagavad Gita? Yes, Priyadarshini Mataji?
Yes, Mataji, he has that Sudarshana Chakra.
No. Sudarshan Chakra, that's not why he's called Chakrapani. Chakra is something else. Oh, you took Chakra, the term.
Yeah.
The Chakrapani is, did you all see the image where Krishna is taking the wheel of the chariot and barging near Bhishma?
Yeah.
Did you see that picture?
Yes,
Mataji, yes, yeah.
What is that story? Why is Krishna doing that?
To please
He's
Bhishma.
breaking his vow
Why?
that he would not be.
Yes.
He broke
Bhishma wanted to kill the Pandavas.
Very good. So Krishna have taken a vow before the battle. Now, what was the vow?
He won't fight in the battle.
That he will not lift any
use any
weapon.
He will
weapons.
not take any.
Yeah, he will not take any weapon in the battle. That was Krishna's promise. Now, what happened one day, since the battle was going on and Duryodhan was feeling scared that why these Pandavas are not dying. And then in order to provoke Bhishma Dev, at night, Duryodhan went to Bhishma Dev's tent and said, why don't you kill? Because if Bhishma took a shapath, he'll never get married in life. He never get married. So in order to provoke and make Bhishma take a vow, Duryodhan went and asked Bhishma, can't you just kill all the Pandavas? And Bhishma was like, tomorrow morning with the 5 arrows, he showed 5 arrows and said, these 5 arrows, I'll kill all the Pandavas. So when Bhishma Dev says something, that will happen. But Krishna want to save his devotees. So what happened? Duryodhan was again very diplomatic in that way that he said to Bhishma Dev, give these 5 arrows to me. I'll keep in my tent. You're old. So if somebody comes and take it from you, the Pandavas won't die. So give the 5 arrows to me. So Duryodhan took the 5 arrows and went into his tent and slept nicely. So this conversation was only between Bhishma and Duryodhan. Nobody else knew. But Krishna knew. He is in the heart as Paramatma, he knows. So Krishna woke up Arjuna in the middle of the night and said, Arjuna, get up, go to Duryodhana's tent and ask for a boon. You remember long back there was a boon which Arjuna had to ask from Duryodhana and he didn't ask. So Krishna said, go and ask that boon now. So Arjuna is like, middle of the night, what, Krishna, what are you saying? Just go and ask for the 5 arrows. And Arjuna didn't understand anything, but Krishna wanted to save his devotees. So Arjuna went to Duryodhan, and Duryodhan was very happily welcoming, because after the sunset, they are friends again. They have dinner together, they are friends. And Arjuna is like, you remember a boon which you have to give me? And Duryodhan is like, you want the kingdom, Hastinapur, take it free. Arjuna is like, no, I'm a Kshatriya, I'll fight and take it back. But the boon what I want is, give me the 5 arrows which you have. Duryodhan got a shock of his life. He's like, the 5 arrows, only me and Bhishma knows about this. And how did he know? So he had to give the 5 arrows, and Arjuna took it back to his tent. Krishna was smiling, and Bhishma Dev came to know, and Bhishma Dev know this is Krishna's plan. So Bhishma Dev is like, Krishna, you broke my promise, because Bhishma has promised that he'll kill the Pandavas, and that promise is broken. So since Krishna broke the promise of Bhishma, Bhishma decided, tomorrow I will break your promise. What was Krishna's promise? That he'll never take a weapon. So Krishna knows this, because he's in the heart. He knows Bhishma's desire to please Bhishma Dev, because he's also a pure devotee. Krishna acted as if he is failing in the battle, and Bhishma Dev was putting a lot of arrows to Arjuna. Arjuna was about to die. Krishna jumped out of the chariot, took the wheel of the chariot and marched towards Bhishma. And then the sunset happened, the war ended, nothing. And so Arjuna was saved in that way. But inside, Krishna was trying to please Bhishma Dev, because Bhishma Dev, it's like a sweet revenge. And Bhishma Dev wanted to break Krishna's promise, and Krishna's promise was broken. So that's why Krishna says, Kaunteya pradijanihi name bhakta pranashri. Oh Arjuna, you declare my devotees will never perish. Because Krishna can break his own promise, but he'll never break the promise of his devotees. Okay, so that's why Krishna is called Chakrapani, because he took the chakra, the wheel, to protect his devotee. Now Prabhupada says, on the other side, Duryodhana was there, but he wanted to kill everyone. But Arjuna didn't want to kill anyone. Why? Because Arjuna is a devotee. That is the difference. A devotee thinks like that. A devotee does not like to kill anyone, even an ant. So many atrocities were done to him. Still, when the question of killing came, he was not very happy. No, this is Vaishnava. He's ready to excuse even the greatest enemy. But even though the Vaishnava aparat, Krishna never excuses anyone, right? So the 5 reasons why Arjuna was not ready to fight is compassion, no enjoyment, family traditions will be lost, sin, and indecision. We have seen this already. Now we'll see in detail what are the 5 reasons. Okay, now compassion. So this is a sloka, Kripaya Paraya Vishto. It is said, when the son of Kunti, Arjuna saw all the different grades of friends and relatives, he became overwhelmed with compassion. Okay, so compassion is a great quality. Tidiksha Karunika. Suhrida Sarva Dehina. So, and Ajada Shatra Vashanda Sadhava Sadhabhushanam. So, this is one of the quality of a pure devotee, that he is a sadhu, is so compassionate. Prabhupada was very compassionate, right, to the fallen souls. That's why he went to America and delivered the fallen conditioned souls. So compassion is a mercy, or the compassion component is there in all his pure devotees. So you can see these 8 symptoms were there in Arjuna, right? His limbs were quivering, his mouth was drying, the whole body was trembling, his hair was standing on end, and from the hand his Gandiva slipped. Skin was burning. He was not able to stand, and the mind was reeling. So these symptoms Arjuna saw in stress. What is the other condition where you can see these symptoms? Ashta Satvika symptoms. Shreya Mataji.
in the extreme ecstasy of in
Very good.
spirituality.
So spiritual ecstasy. And who exhibited these symptoms? Did it, Priyadarshini Mataji, you know, did anyone exhibit these symptoms? Kishore Kumar Prabhu?
It's Chaitanya Prabhu.
Very, very nice. Hari Bol. So when did Chaitanya Mahaprabhu exhibit the symptoms?
When he met Lord Jagannath in Puri.
Very nice. And who else? Who else also exhibited the same symptoms?
Radharani also.
Radharani, very nice. When she was in separation from Krishna. So, but what is the difference in spiritual ecstasy and in stress? How do you differentiate these two? If a person is having spiritual ecstasy and all these symptoms, if somebody is in stress and having these symptoms, what is that factor which differentiate both? Yes, Prabhu?
It is fear, Mataji.
Fear, very nice. Yes. So the fear component is absent in spiritual ecstasy. So the two types of situation where these 8 symptoms are seen as in spiritual ecstasy or bhava or a prema stage, and also in stress. But in stress, there is fear. But in spiritual ecstasy, there is no fear. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never feared Jagannath, and Radharani never feared Krishna. So these symptoms should not be just exhibited out of cheap publicity. No, it should not be done. Some professional Bhagavatam reciters will be crying, and all these symptoms they'll exhibit. And immediately after the Bhagavad Saptah, they go and smoke a cigarette. Prabhupada is like, what kind of Vaishnavas are they? So that it doesn't match, and we can't just show it off. I mean, a pure devotee never shows it. Even Prabhupada had these symptoms like crying in ecstasy and all. Prabhupada never exhibited it. He just wiped his tears and he was back to normal. A pure devotee never exhibited. Okay. But yes, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. So if you insult the devotees, the devotee might excuse, but Krishna will not excuse. This is Krishna's position. Therefore, be careful to insult a devotee. This is called Vaishnava Aparad. What does Chaitanya Mahaprabhu call Vaishnava Aparad as? Does anyone know? A devotee may excuse you, but Krishna will not excuse. Krishna is so strict. He cannot tolerate any insult.
Matal Hati, mad elephant.
Hati Mata, yeah, that means mad elephant. Like we are all like gardeners, and we got this Bhakti Lada beach. Light Brahmande Brahmite Kono Bhagavan Jeev Guru Krishna Kripai Pai Bhakti Lada beach. So because of the Guru and Krishna, we got the Bhakti Lada beach, and we are like gardeners. We are sowing it in our heart, and we are watering it. What is the watering and putting the manure is Shravadam and Kirtana, watering and the light sunlight. So we are growing the Bhakti Lada beach, which is so tender. And you are like a gardener. Just imagine a mad elephant coming and running into your garden. It will smash everything, uproot your Bhakti Lada beach. So Vaishnava Aparad is said to be Hati Mata, which we should not do. Should be very, very careful. Our Bhakti will be completely destroyed. But Krishna will not excuse somebody who is insulting the devotee. Krishna is so strict. He cannot tolerate any insult to his devotee. Therefore, this arrangement of fighting. Arjuna said, no, please let them be excused. But Krishna wanted, no, you must kill. You must kill them. So Krishna was doing mercy. When Krishna kills someone, that's also special mercy. Why? They are getting moksha. When somebody is getting killed by Krishna, that's also getting moksha, right? So Krishna is definitely, Prabhupada mentions in the purport that if the Kauravas die at home, they'll never get moksha. But since they died in the battlefield, seeing Krishna, in the Vishwarup, Krishna shows all of them going in the mouth of Krishna, so they got moksha. So this is all Krishna's plan. Everything is Krishna's arrangement. Nachashraya, okay. So before that, Vaishnava can be angry in 2 situations. Which are they? Normally, a Vaishnava is not angry, but then what are the 2 situations he can show his transcendental anger?
When someone blasphemes a devotee and the Lord himself.
Yes. So somebody blasphemes the devotees or blasphemes the Lord, then what happens? A devotee can show his transcendental anger. Nacha shreyana pashyami hatva swajanam ahave nakangshe vijayam Krishna nacha rajyam sukanicha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, my dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. So now here he is saying that I won't be happy killing anyone, Krishna. I can't see anything good in killing these kingsmen. Okay, so what is the analogy Prabhupada mentions there? A person does not feel hunger, does not cook if he's not hungry. What is the example, comparison Prabhupada gives this to? These analogies can all come as your questions. Yes, Mataji?
Arjuna. Arjuna,
yeah, Arjuna is?
He didn't want to fight. That's compared. He didn't want to, I mean, a pretext of actually not killing he didn't want to kill his relatives.
Because he was not happy fighting, right? Because he was, yes, Mataji. So that's the right answer. So, here Prabhupada mentions, Arjuna was not happy to kill, and so Arjuna didn't want to fight. Similarly, a person who is not hungry doesn't want to cook. So similarly, Arjuna, he was not happy, so he didn't want to fight. Like Duryodhana was happy, he's going to get the kingdom, so he was ready to fight. So this is the comparison which Prabhupada mentions, a simple example. And in enjoyment, it is said everyone wants to show his opulence to friends and relatives, but Arjuna fears that his relatives and friends will be killed on the battlefield, and he was unable to share his opulence after victory. Okay, so that's the concern with Arjuna had. He's thinking Krishna is not so important, my family is important. Sometimes we do that, or chanting or my family. I mean, sometimes we keep our chanting aside, thinking that it's not important, but that's the most important thing which we always keep aside. But if we prioritize Krishna, Krishna will prioritize us. Although he's a devotee, therefore, in the lower stage of devotion, one may be interested in Krishna consciousness, but his real interest is how to improve his material life. As a natural devotee of the Lord, Arjuna did not like to retaliate against his Muslim cousins and brothers, but it was Lord's plan that they should be killed. It's Krishna's plan, right? If he killed them, they will get moksha. So that's what Krishna's plan is. And Arjuna is just an instrument. Nimitta matram bhavisrave sachit. The devotee of the Lord does not retaliate against a wrongdoer. The Lord does not tolerate any mischiefs that is done to his devotees. Lord can excuse any person in his account, but he excuses no one who have done harm to his devotees. Therefore, the Lord was determined to kill the miscreants, although Arjuna wanted to excuse them. Okay. Why Krishna is addressed as Govinda in that sloka 1.32 to 3.5? Yes, Shreya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Govinda is the one who gives pleasure to cows and senses. Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Govinda because by stopping this war, it may please the senses of Krishna.
Yes, very good. So Govinda means someone who give pleasure or happiness to senses, to cows, gopas, gopis, Govardhan and all. So Govinda, why Krishna is addressed Govinda here specifically? Because Krishna should give pleasure to Arjuna's senses. But actually, Krishna should not give pleasure. Our senses should give pleasure to Govinda. Rishikena Rishikesha Sevana. But here Arjuna addressed that Krishna, you are the one who gives pleasure to all the senses. So you should give pleasure to my senses. Why are you making me unhappy by fighting? And why is Krishna called Madhava? They will. Yes, Vedarshan.
Husband of the goddess of fortune, Mataji.
Yes, that is Madhava. But why specifically on the 36th verse?
He says, see, you are the husband of the goddess of fortune, and you want me to do something which is going to bring us misfortune and make us unfortunate. So how is it you are advising me this?
Yeah. So Madhava is husband of goddess of fortune. So as husband of goddess of fortune, he should bring good fortune, but instead he is bringing misfortune. Right? So Arjuna didn't want that to happen. So then Prabhupada says Krishna will never bring misfortune to anyone. That is another thing. But then Arjuna is saying, you are husband of goddess of fortune, you should bring good fortune to me. Why are you bringing misfortune by telling me to fight? So that's why the specific term Madhava is used. Papam evashrayat asman. So that means sinful reactions. He was very scared of it. He says sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Which are the 6 aggressors mentioned in the sloka 36? Some devotees are not at all active in the class. Others are very active. So I request all of you to be active in the class. Yes, Deval Mataji, what are the 6 aggressors?
Poison giver, one who burns the houses, one who takes away the land, plunders the riches, and attacks with deadly weapon and kidnaps a wife.
These are 6 aggressors: a poison giver who sets fire to the house, who attacks with deadly weapon, who plunders the riches, and who occupies another's land, and who kidnaps a wife. Yes. So was all these 6 done to the Pandavas? Can we discuss how was the poison given to Pandavas?
Bhima was given poison when he was a kid.
Yeah, Bhima was given the poisonous cake. Then what about setting fire to the house?
The Lac house.
Lac house.
Yeah, the Lac house was burnt when they went for Vanavas. Deadly weapon?
5 sons of Draupadi were killed by Ashwatthama.
Very good. The 5 sons of Pandavas were killed by Ashwatthama's deadly weapon. Very good. Plundering riches?
Gambling match.
Yeah, the gambling match, and they took all the riches. Occupying another's land?
Kauravas did that to Pandavas.
So
after the gambling
already
match.
taken the this one, Hastinapur kingdom. What about insulting a wife?
Yes.
Draupadi was
Jarasan also tried to kidnap her, I think.
Yes. So everything was all the 6 sins were done to the Pandavas, right? Duryodhan fed Bhima poisonous cake, and then the house of Lac was to be burnt, and also Shakuni cheated in the dice game with gambling and all, and then the Pandavas' land was occupied. Draupadi. Also, all these aggression happened to the Pandavas. So can we discuss from the Shastras the 6 type of aggressors? Okay, examples from the Shastras. You can take from Bhagavatam, you can take from Bhagavad Gita itself, or some other scriptures. Nice examples of all these 6 type of aggressors. We'll have a short breakout room. Is that okay? It's just short.
Yes, Mataji.
Just go to the breakout rooms. Just discuss all these 6 aggressors. One example. Who did anyone give poison to someone? Did they try to kidnap the wife? Something. There are different examples from different scriptures. So just get the names. If you don't get everything, at least some 2 or 3, and then come back. Okay. Okay, Hare Krishna. So we all discuss. Okay, so attendance form is posted by Srideva Mataji, so you can all fill. Yes. So from breakout room 1, can we have? Oh, they not come.
Hare Krishna, Mataji, they have come.
Yes, Prabhu. What are the examples you discussed?
One is the poison. Poison was given by Putra to Krishna. Then fire.
Putana. Yes.
Putra. Then fire. Holika Mataji tried to kill Prahlad Maharaj.
Very good.
By fire.
Yeah.
And then deadly weapons. Abhimanyu was killed by deadly weapons, and also the Aswathama killed all the Pandava's sons. Plunder of wealth. Valmiki in his past life was plundering the wealth of all the people.
Yes, very good.
And insulting the wife, Ravana insulted, and Sita and Bali insulted his brother's wife.
Yes, very good.
And lastly, land grabbing. Jarasanga was doing grabbing of the Krishna's land, and Bali was doing grabbing of his brother's land.
Very good, very good. So room number 4, Deval Mataji, Rekha Mataji, Sachinandas Prabhu. Did you get any other example other than these which they mentioned?
We got Hiranyakashipu giving poison to Prahlad.
Very good. Yes, and Mirabai. Yes, very good.
And rest, I think, deadly weapon. Even Ashwatthama tried to kill the Parikshit Maharaj in the womb.
Parikshit Maharaj. Yes, very good. Yes, and room number 2, Charu Mataji, Neeraja Mataji, Sudha Mataji, same example.
Yes, Mataji. Poison giver is Prahlad Maharaj for Prahlad Maharaj, and attacks one who plunders the riches refers to Hiranyakashipu, who was taking the riches of everyone.
And Hiranyaksha also. Hiranyaksha also took the riches.
Yes, Mataji. Good. And kidnapping a wife is Ravana, kidnaps Sita.
Yes, very good. Okay, so let's hear from room number 3 also. Alka Mataji, Kumar Prabhu. Pujyavrinda Devidasa Mataji, Shreya Mataji. Did you have any other new example?
No, Mataji, examples.
Same, na? Okay. Good, good. So it was a nice session. You could go through different Bhagavatam stories and all to get the example. Yes, Charu Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, for this deadly weapon was also thinking if Meghanath was trying to kill Lakshmana, will that qualify? He was trying to. So Hanuman has to take the Sanjeevani.
Yes, it's also a deadly weapon. It can come as that. Okay. Okay. And yes, Shreya Mataji.
In deadly weapons, the Jatayu was killed by Ravana.
Jatayu. Yes, from both the wings were cut. Definitely. Yes. So even that will come. So Mataji, can you share the attendance form again? Okay. It is shared. So please fill it. So these 36 types of aggressors. And then destruction of the dynasties. It is said that there will be death in the family members. So why is elders required in the family? What Prabhupada mentions. Why is it important to have elders in the family? Arjuna was more concerned.
To continue the family tradition. The old people who are in the family teaches the religion and the principles of religion to children, and thus when children grow up, follow the religion and continue with the tradition. This tradition will be lost once the old people are killed.
Yeah, so for purification process and also the traditions are explained by the elders in the family, even that will be lost, and the whole purpose of human life, that is liberation, will be just destroyed. Eternal family tradition will be vanquished and family becomes involved in irreligion. There will be degradation of womanhood and unwanted progeny will be born. So there will be all the welfare activities will be devastated. So he was very concerned why elder members are needed, because the purificatory process and everything they will explain. But then if they are not there in the family, then the younger generation will not follow it. When interreligion is prominent in the family of Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from degradation of womanhood or descendant of Vrishni comes unwanted progenies. That is called, what is the term Krishna used here? What is the term used for unwanted progeny? Varna Shankara. Yes, Varna Shankara. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. So here Prabhupada mentions that women have to be protected. But he's not talking about Krishna conscious women. He's talking about ordinary women. So when the women comes to Krishna consciousness, that's a different position. Prabhupada says, it doesn't matter you're in a male body or a female body, a spirit soul. As part and parcel of Krishna, everyone is equal. So only thing is, he's saying that the world is in such a way that they will misuse women who is very sweet at heart and very soft spoken and soft, so that she has to be actually protected from, when childhood by your father, then later on by brother, then by husband and by children and sons. So it is said. So in that context, Prabhupada says, you don't have to think you're a woman if you want to advance in Krishna consciousness, because if you think you're a woman, then you can never advance. But you're not women, you are spirit soul. That's what he said to his disciple. So after this, Arjuna cast aside his bow and arrows, and his mind was overwhelmed with grief. He didn't fight after that. So it is said, being an associate of Lord Krishna, Arjuna was above all ignorance. But Arjuna was put into ignorance. Why? That's Krishna's plan, just to question Lord Krishna about the problems of life, Lord, that so that Bhagavad Gita can be spoken. Lord could explain them for the benefit of future generations of human beings and chalk out the plan of life. Then man could act accordingly and perfect the mission of human life. Okay, so Bhagavad Gita, so this is all Krishna's plan. If something is happening in our life, definitely it's Krishna's arrangements. And he said everything has its proper utility. Violence also has its utility. So Krishna is saying Arjuna to fight, right? So we had a discussion on what are the Arjuna's reasons for not fighting, the 5 reasons, and also how the family traditions or the dynasty can be destroyed, right? And also it is said Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Lord so that human society can be perfectly organized from all angles of vision, politically, socially, economically, philosophically, and religiously. From any point of view, human society can be reformed by Krishna conscious movement. So that's why Krishna consciousness is an emergency. So what are the qualities did Arjuna have? According to the last sloka, he was kind and soft-hearted person. He was fit to receive knowledge. Okay, so by then we finished this chapter. So that's how we discussed about the different parts. Now we'll see in the second chapter detail about the soul aspect. I might take some 3 sessions on chapter 2 because it's a lengthy chapter and we need to understand that's the basics of Krishna conscious philosophy, that we are not this body, we are spirit soul. And there might be 3 sessions, the long chapter with 70 plus slokas. And after 2 chapters, you'll have open book assessment. In the sense, one question will be given to you from the handbook. You just have to open the Bhagavad Gita book and then write, but don't copy as it is. Whatever you understand, you can just write. And that's the open book assessment. How to fill date, month, year? You can just, there's an option, no, Mataji?
Set, Mataji, set.
Oh, okay. So, Puja Devidas Mataji, you just go to set and then set the date. I didn't see the form. Okay. Yeah, question bank. It's already shared, no? Mataji, you don't have it? The student's handbook? Priyadarshini Mataji, there is a student's handbook where the questions are...
No, Mataji, I don't have it.
Oh, okay. There is a student's handbook, which we will... Sridevi Mataji, can you post it in the group?
Okay, Mataji. Was it
you
possible?
have it?
No, Mataji, I don't.
Oh, you don't have. Then I
have Mataji. Can I share it again in the group?
Yes, yes. I think the group is not open to everyone. No, we'll just see.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I will. You can share, Prabhu. I will make you. I can open the group. Okay.
Mataji, yes. Recordings, Mataji.
Yeah, the recording will be posted in the group. Okay. It will be posted. Okay, so I hope all of you are going through the session nicely. You were able to understand. My nature is that I'm little speed. I'm not able to control the speed, but naturally I'm a little. If you want to decrease the speed, you can always tell me. And I'm thinking that it's all dinner time and you don't want to spend 2 hours, so we can finish in 1.5 hours. So only thing is you have to go through the purports. Whatever I'm explaining, I'm not taking anything from any book. I'm just following Bhagavad Gita as it is. Go through the purports. Everything is clearly mentioned by Prabhupada. You'll be like wondering, Hare, how did I miss this point? No? So well, Prabhupada has given every explanation very nicely. So we just have to read through the purports. It's very easy to understand. Okay, so next week we'll do chapter 2. Okay, so happy to see all of you.
Actually, speed helps us because if we drive at a speed, then we don't have a time to look around. And if we drive slowly, then we always look around and see everything.
That's a nice comment which I got, Prabhu. Thank you. Okay, so Priyadarshini Mataji, you are there in our group, no? WhatsApp group. I'll post the recording, the YouTube recording, and the question bank there. Okay.
Yes, Mataji.
And Mataji, just remind me. Okay.
I have posted it now, Mataji. The link.
Recording. Okay.
Open book assignment. When you said after 2 chapters, Mataji?
Yeah, after 2 chapters, there will be 1 open book assignment. So it is said in 1 unit or 1 module, that is 6 chapters, you'll have 2 open book assignment, 1 closed book. So after 2 chapters, after 2nd chapter, there'll be 1 open book assignment. After 4th chapter, there'll be again 1 open book assignment. After the 6th chapter, there'll be closed book assessment. There'll be 10 small questions where you can select 8 and answer. And there will be Sloka memorization also. So Sridevi Mataji, is that shared in the group? The slokas to memorize?
Sloka, yeah, that's also
yes, Mataji.
Yeah, so you all start learning. You can just come in the Zoom online and then tell me what are the slokas you memorized. Just chart the sloka and tell the translation. Translation may not be exact word to word. Whatever you understood from the sloka, you can just tell. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh, handbook and the YouTube link is shared. Very good. Thank you, Sridevi Mataji. So I hope all of you are there in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So we can have a discussion. We can discuss and then study. I'm also revising with you all so that I don't forget these. Bhakti Shastri is one way that every answer should be precise. Like whatever is, see, when I ask what are the 2 reasons why Arjuna is called Gudakesha, you have to mention the 2 reasons, which has to be in the book. Then only you get marks. That's what Bhakti Shastri is like a graduate study. Okay, in level 1, level 2, whatever you feel like writing, you can write. I mean, it's not very strict, right? But then Bhakti Shastri, it's like a professional course where we have to refer to the standard textbook Bhagavad Gita. So we don't have to beat around the bush. Whatever the points are, bullet points, if you write, you get full marks. So once my friend wrote 1 line in Bhakti Shastri. The question was, what does eternal time does? What does time factor does? The only answer is it destroys everything. But we are supposed to write many, but she wrote it destroys everything. She got 10 marks. And we all were writing pages and pages. So that's what in Bhakti Shastri, it's just point to point. Okay, just mention, you take your books. The best way to have is just have a pencil or something and then mark the 2 points. What are the 2 reasons why what Duryodhan thought that Dronacharya and Bhishmacharya will support him? Just that line, just that word is enough. So if you can remember that, then Bhagavad Gita is easy. Okay. So I'll share the open book assessment after 2nd chapter. Okay.
Mataji, the PDF you have sent, Shloka's PDF, it's for memorization?
Yes. So out of, I think around 40, 45 slokas are there in that list.
Chapter 1 is not there. From chapter 2 only it is there.
1.1. 1 is 1.1. Okay.
Only one, Mataji, in that?
Yeah, first sloka. Only first sloka you will learn. Rest everything is questions and everything which you need to memorize. Why this memorization is when you start preaching, when you start taking a class or something, Prabhupada says, you have to quote from the Shastra. Otherwise, nobody will believe you. If you say from the Shastra says, or Bhagavad Gita, first chapter, first sloka says like this, then they can't say anything. So Prabhupada's like, a preacher should have know some slokas. And it's not only for that, it's for your personal benefit also. Because Bhagavad Gita is not different from Krishna. When you chant the verses, it's good for you. So I know some people find it very difficult to memorize, but don't worry. Slowly, Krishna will give the buddhi yoga.
But Mataji, there are so many other shlokas also which are very important, no, Mataji? Only 1 shloka in the first chapter?
Yeah, there are important slokas, but Bhakti Shastri curriculum, it has only one sloka to memorize. You can memorize how much of a sloka you want, Mataji, but then for the exam purpose, the syllabus is 1.1.
Thank you, Mataji.
Okay.
Only important 108 slokas are there to memorize?
No, 108 you don't have to memorize. There are 700 slokas in Bhagavad Gita. 108 is important, but Bhakti Shastri says 40 or 45 maximum.
Yeah, okay.
Memorize. So I think that's enough. It includes all the important slokas in Bhakti Shastri. Okay. So slowly try to memorize. Start now. Okay.
Thank you, Mataji.
Hare Krishna. So I think we are
Hare
done.
Krishna.
today.
Dandavat pranam. Yeah.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we can close
Any shlokas to read before the next class from the second
Yeah,
chapter?
next class is the second chapter. Go to first 20-25 slokas. Okay, the second chapter. So that I split it in 3 parts.
Do we have any sadhana chart that needs to be marked?
Sadhana chart will be shared. Okay, it will be shared. Yes, Pooja Vrinda Devidas Mataji.
Mataji, I didn't catch something. I was busy. I mean, I'm not well, so but still attended the class. You said something about this thing, that marking of that pencil marking or something in the book or notebook or what you said, it will be easier.
Yeah, so since
you
it is said,
something.
yeah, I'm having some disturbance. Yes, it is said, Mataji, that we should not mark on the book Bhagavad Gita as such, because that's Krishna himself. That's what they say. But then when you're for studying purpose, if you could just mark little bit with a pencil, it's allowed actually, because we are studying the scriptures. We are that's called swadhyay. So that's nothing wrong or offense by doing it. We don't have to completely mark it or something. If you have a highlighter, you can just highlight it, or maybe just put a bracket or something, just the important points. Or you can have a small note or something. If you can make it in the notebook, fine. But then making in the notebook for a long time, sometimes we forget where we wrote what. So better to just mark it in the book itself, so that you remember, oh, this question, this is answer, this question, this is answer. And then the whole purport need not be read during the exam. That's how you prepare. So it's easy, Mataji, in that way. Okay. Okay. Hare Krishna, everyone. So we can end here. Hare Krishna, Mataji.